Hello and welcome to another video. It's OT19 or Ultimate Gamer 19,000, and I'm here today to explain to you all the Barbarian Hexblade Warlock multiclass. Is it any good? Why the hell are we even building it? Well, because today is Random Multiclass Thursdays, and I'm covering a random multiclass. If you do enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Or if you want to see more of these type of videos, do all of those things I just said. So yeah, let's get right into this random multiclass. First of all, you may be asking, well, doesn't Barbarian and Hexblade Warlock not really mesh too well because of the Barbarian's Rage feature? Which you are correct, but there is some caveats that kind of make it a little bit better to use in my personal opinion. This multiclass does have its obvious flaws, but it does also have its advantages in my personal opinion. First of all, Armor of Agathis is an extraordinarily powerful spell that any martial really wants. If you don't know what it does, then let me tell it. A projected magical force surrounds you, manifesting as a spectral frost that covers you and your gear. You gain 5 temporary hit points for the duration, which is 1 hour. If a creature hits you with a melee attack while you have these hit points, the creature takes 5 cold damage. So for the initiated, they may be thinking, oh, with rage we take less damage, meaning we'll be able to keep Armor of Agathis up. So I can kind of see the synergy. Which, yes, I do agree that the synergy is definitely there, but the part where the synergy kind of falls on its face very flat is the fact that as a barbarian, you can't cast spells in your rage. Meaning you'd have to pre-cast Armor of Agathis or cast Armor. Well, I guess in your first turn you could cast Armor of Agathis, and then as a bonus action use your Hexblade's Curse, and then on your next turn, bonus action Rage, then attack recklessly. I guess it could work, but it does require a whole turn of setup, which I know some people may not like, but it definitely is an option. And also, you would have to use Armor of Agdis for that whole first turn without. Well, okay, because I guess you could Armor of Agdis then Rage and just like boom rush to like the middle of the battlefield in front of every enemy and pray to God you take damage. Because this is the main goal of this build, to just take a crap ton of damage. Like this build, you want to take damage, but you also want to lessen it so then everyone around you, everyone attacking you takes a lot more. But Armor of Actus really begins to shine when you upcast it, because for every spell slot you upcast it, that's above second level, you gain your temporary hit points, and the cold damage that is dealt increases for 5 by slot. Meaning if you waste a 5th level spell slot, you have 25 temporary hit points, and the creature takes 25 cold damage if they hit you. Which of course is pretty damn good. Like let's not sugarcoat it here. That's really good, especially when you have when those temporary hit points become 50. When if you're resisting a lot of damage you're dealing, 50 temporary hit points, and each time those whittle down, opponent takes 25 cold damage. The damage starts to add up very well. But again, there is another massive caveat. How much damage is your boss is doing? For example, if a dragon frees their breath on you, and well, you take 50 points of damage, and if you don't resist it, then your Armor of Agathis is gone, and you can't recast it because you're raging unless you drop your rage. So, which does kind of suck. Now, this multi-class isn't all bad in my opinion, because the Hexblade Warlock exists. Hexblade Curse is an extremely offensive and very powerful feature that basically allows you to deal some extra damage when you hit a target. This is very powerful on any martial character, simply because damage go burr. You can quote it yourself if you feel it. But in an overall sense, with the barbarian, this is nice because with reckless attack, they can be hitting more often, meaning they'll be able to get that extra damage more often. But that's kind of it when it comes to this multi-class. I mean, the blink spell is alright. I mean, it doesn't require concentration. Granted, it isn't only a minute long, so you can't really precast it. So, I mean, but overall, Blink is decent, except when you think about the fact that Rage, you need to get hit for Rage to last, or do attacks, and Armor of yeah, I mean, as you see, this problem kind of creates more and more problems, this build at least. But ignoring that, if you did want to play this build for some reason, because I don't know, maybe you really like it, or maybe you're playing one of those D&D games that's like you take 2 levels per level up, something like that. Well, if you do, then by all means, I mean, this may be Interesting. But what subclasses or even level structure would you even recommend for this build? Well, if you want a very flavorful option, I think Path of the Zealot probably has it outdone when it comes to flavor. I mean, you're basically a barbarian blessed by gods. You can deal some additional damage each of your turns, which is pretty damn nice. But mechanically speaking, I definitely do think Path of the Totem Warrior Barbarian is the best, especially Bear Totem. I mean, this just allows you to have your armor of Actus up for longer, and so of course the Bear Totem is going to be the best choice. But I feel like that's always the case. So if you don't want to pick Bear Totem because you're like, that's boring, well then by all means pick Zealot if the flavor really intrigues you. Uh, and it's range stuff. Damn. Because if you could cast if your party's warlock could cast Armor of Agathis on you as a barbarian, then that would be really good. But like again, that's more of a combo, less of a build type of thing. But yeah, that sucks. But next, I mean, we have so aside from that, what else? What benefits does the warlock even give us in reality? If we look at the warlock spell list and the hexblade warlock spell list, as you can see, when we're raging, we can't cast any spells, and we can't concentrate on any of them either. So Hex is gone. That I guess comprehend languages we can use. Unseen Servant we can have up. I guess at level 2, it seems we can't have darkness. We can have enthrall. I guess no, that takes a minute. That's an action. No, that's bad. Yeah, as I'm seeing, there's not really much good. There's you don't have many options, I feel. So overall, this is kind of like pretty dumb. Like this isn't definitely like the amazing build, but it's definitely a build. I mean, again, because this thing is, because I'm imagining this build that you want to use Armor of Actus as your best possible capabilities in a higher level play. 10 temporary hit points, which is what you have if you take Totem Bear because of your resistance, isn't enough. You will be most attacks probably will be dealing around 20 to like 15 damage. So maybe if you're lucky, you may get two armor of Agathis procs up. But like once you get reaching into like the 30 or 40 HP per like attack or like per round type of thing, armor of Agathis is generally just gonna start lacking very often. So with this build, I feel like the only real way that we can actually get any benefit from Armor of Actus is by trying to upcast it as high as possible. And the Warlock does do a decent job at that, but the thing is it worth it to take 9 levels of Warlock just to get Armor of Actus up? That is the real problem here. But again, this is a build video, so I will be trying to somehow make this build decent because I do enjoy making powerful builds. I am a power gamer at heart. I do enjoy making powerful builds. I enjoy making builds that do really good damage. Sustained. I think sustained more than burst in my personal opinion, but whatever. So let's look at the Warlock's progression. If we want to take greatest benefit, we would have to take 9 levels of Warlock, which meaning we would get 5th level spells and we would be able to upcast our Armor of Actus to 5th level, which by itself is nice. But when you realize that our charisma score probably won't be the highest because we're a barbarian, so again, even if we wanted to, we couldn't use stuff like Hold Monster because our DC would be -3. There would be no real like benefit to even taking this. But for the sake of doing this, ninth level. So if we would take 9 levels of Warlock, we'd have 5th level spells, which gives us around, if you take Bear Totem, 50, or taking like Slashing, Piercing, we would have 50 temporary hit points to work with, which is a lot of temporary hit points. Don't get me wrong, but for one fight, I could definitely see a Barbarian as a frontliner losing them quite quickly, in my opinion. So I think definitely if we're taking 9 levels of Warlock, I definitely think we should probably only take 3 to 4 levels of Barbarian here. I think what we do is our first 3 levels are all Totem War Barbarians, Bear Totem. Then the other 9 are all Hexblade Warlock levels, and will get extra attack with Hexblade Warlock, which I know it sucks getting extra attacks. I mean, this build is just annoying, man. This build, like, no matter, because we could take 5 levels of Barbarian just to get extra attack early, but man, is it just punching yourself in the foot and having to like waste having to get armor back. It's just this, whatever. We'll just maybe this, we'll build this build like if we're in a one shot. 9 levels of Hexblade Warlock straight, and then some levels of Barbarian. So we'll be character level what 12, which is usually when a campaign ends. This is not a build for a campaign. Please, by all means, if you want to build for a campaign, uh, take any other build. Don't do this one. So okay, I mean, I have a Blade Singing Monk build. Check the cards. That's a good build. Play that if you want to play in a campaign. So what we'd have to do is I think by level 12, we'll have Barbarian and Warlock levels. I definitely think if you want to make your other Warlock spells kind of useful or just want to make this build a little stronger, definitely, I do definitely think 2 levels of Paladin really just adds here. I mean, 2 levels of Paladin really just kind of helps you just have Divine Smite, and again, it's just better. So I definitely think 1 or 2 levels of Paladin probably would be decent here because if you're using minimum ability score requirements, you would have a 13 charisma and a 13 strength, so that you'll be able to multiclass into it. But if you're not, then it doesn't matter. And for all you asking, oh, this build is going to be using medium armor. Breastplate is the best plate here. Definitely, I think medium armor, and I think you'd probably just take Great Weapon Master, not Polar Master, because we don't have the feats for that. I think we would take Very Human level 1, Great Weapon Master, and then Warlock level. Think we got to do. I think we got to do 5 Warlock levels, and then 3 Barbarian, which I hate, but whatever. And then the rest, and then the other 4 Warlock levels to up our spell casting, and then finally take some Paladin levels, which I think, yeah, that's probably your best fit. Again, this build, its theme is so cool because again, at the end of the day, the Hexblade Warlock is just nice. Now, if you don't care for armor like this really scaling well, then you could just take a 1 level dip of Hexblade Warlock and genuinely get value. Just cast armor back this before every fight, and not every enemy is going to be taking 5 code damage when they hit you, which is nice. I mean, like if you're facing a bunch of like weak grunts, you may be able to get like 2 uses out of it. But if you want to, you could just take 1 level of all of your levels of Barbarian, 1 Hexblade Warlock, and just call it a day. That will also work, but mainly you're not really abusing Armor of Actus, you're more abusing Hexblade's Curse and Armor of Actus every blue moon, in my personal opinion. But now, if you really hate the fact that this just doesn't work, then I do have a sort of solution for you. Matthew Mercer, the creator of Critical Role, has a certain class called the Blood Hunters, and the Blood Hunters have a subclass called the Prussian Soul. This subclass basically is like the Eldritch Knight, but for warlocks. So, if you want to, you could, for example, take 3 levels of Barbarian, which I feel like, well, I think honestly, what you would do is you take 5 levels of Blood Hunter, then 3 levels of Barbarian, and then just the rest of Blood Hunter. And here, you're still a good martial. Because the thing with the Hexblade Warlock is you're losing on that martial prowess, but with the with the what is it? The Blood Hunter, you're not really losing on that martial prowess, and you're actually kind of improving on it because with the Blood Hunter, the main thing is like they have to have a lot of HP to get up their rights and stuff like that. And as a barbarian, you have a D12 hit dice. You have rage. HP is not a problem of yours. So the Blood Hunter and Barbarian actually kind of schemes very well. And also, you could take the Hexblade as your otherworldly Patreon and do some decent stuff. When you successfully target a creature with a blood curse, the next time you hit a creature with an attack while the curse is in effect, the attack deals additional damage equal to your proficiency bonus. Meaning that you can do some decent, some extra damage. It is a weaker version of Hexblade Curse, but still definitely is there. And also, I mean, overall, is so much better because you can actually use all of your really cool Blood Hunter features without feeling like, ah, damn, I'm shooting myself in the foot constantly here. Because you could still use your blood curses or your blood maledicts. My fault. You can still use Hunter's Pain. What is this? Uh, no, okay. I don't. Oh, it's tracking. You can, and now you also get a fighting style, which I don't know. These fighting styles are kind of out of date. I would hope they get defense, so you may want to talk about the end. But also blood curses. You can use these blood curses even if you're rage. This does not take away from your rage. Your Crimson Right, being able to be a barbarian, building a great axe that has lightning damage and possibly radiant damage if you're a zealot barbarian is super cool flavor wise. And also, you get an extra attack completely free. And now, granted, the later Blood Hunter features, aren't the best, but still, you can kind of replace them with Barbarian features, which are genuinely much better. So I do think if you want to build this to be okay or even plausible and you want to still kind of abuse armor of Agathis, I think the Blood Hunter Order of the Profane Soul is going to be your best option. But I do know that not everyone allows homebrew. But this is on D&D Beyond and it's completely free. You can, like, legit right now, you can go to D&D Beyond and build yourself a Blood Hunter Profane Soul, no charge. So it is on D&D Beyond. It is allowed. Wizard of the Coast put their big stamp on it. So I know for some tables they allow homebrew if Wizard of the Coast has approved of it, which this is official approved homebrew, and also it's like Critical Role, So show your DM, it's Critical Role, please. And yeah, it is free. You don't have to buy any books. You can literally go on. I literally made an Order of Profane Soul Blood Hunter the other day on D&D Beyond, and I literally have spent nothing on D&D Beyond. I'm a Roll20 guy. I know, controversial, but so I mean, if you want to make this build good, Blood Hunter, Barbarian. If you really want to be a warlock, then, well, honestly, I think, I think the best thing you probably could do is 3 Barbarian levels, 5 Blood Hunter, then 1 Warlock, 1 Hexblade. You'd still get the really good Hexblade's curse. You'd still get Armor of Agathis for, you know, we're cooking. We're cooking a little something something. If you do want to see a full build guide of this combination of stuff, make sure to leave that down below. But yeah, overall, I think that's the end for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, OT19 signing out. Peace.